Okay. So we were before the test we were discussing about Z transform. Particularly, I started with the intuition to Z transform, where exactly it is used, what's the application, what's the idea behind Z transform. So you will be using this Z transform not only here, you will be using in DSP for filter design purposes, for control system design, and there you'll be having a lot of problems. So mapping from Z domain to S domain, then designing the system, testing the stability. So designing of transfer function, there this poles and zeros, location of the poles, how it affects the stability of the system, and as a system as a whole. Okay, when you define the stability, all the properties, this Z transform becomes an important tool. So what I stress you people is make your basics strong. So these things will help you, know to motivate further to study other subjects also. So in the last class, I have studied. So we have studied some problems with respect to Z transform, covering the properties of ROC. And today we will solve some three problems with respect to this Z transform, and then we will see the properties, the derivation with respect to the properties of Z transform. And then in the next class, we will solve some problems with respect to properties. And then we will go and solve some problems with respect to inverse Z transform. And then we will see what is this unilateral Z transform. So today, let's begin with the problem. So given the problem, you have to find them Z transform, and then you have to find the poles, and then you have to plot them ROC. So the question is to find the Z transform of the given signal, find the poles and plot the ROC. So how can we go about this problem? So the given question is x of n is equal to sine omega n u of n. So the first thing what you have to write the formula. Z transform of x of n is equal to summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity x of n z power minus n. So now what is x of n? Sine omega of n u of n. So u of n is defined from 0 to infinity. So what is your x of n? Sine omega of n. So sine omega of n. So what I have done, I have substituted the value of x of n as sine omega of n, and your u of n, since it's vary from 0 to infinity, I have changed the limit into z to the power of minus n. So how can we further simplify this? I can express sine omega in terms of e power. So how can I express summation n varies from 0 to infinity? So sine omega n e power j omega n minus e power minus j omega n divided by 2j, because sine theta is equal to e power j theta minus e power minus j theta divided by 2j into z to the power of minus n. So how can we further simplify this one? 1 by 2j summation n varies from 0 to infinity e power j omega n z to the power of minus n. Just I am separating the terms, just so that we can apply the formula. So let me come to that. So 1 by minus 1 by 2j summation n varies from minus infinity to 0 to infinity e power minus j 2 omega into z to the power of minus n. So now when we are solving this kind of problems, if you see this one, this looks like summation n varies from 0 to infinity a power of n. So you have studied in mathematics one formula, summation n varies from 0 to infinity a power of n is equal to 1 by 1 minus a. So we have to express the given terms in terms of this a power of n so that we can use this formula. So what is the given condition? So this formula is satisfied only if mod a is lesser than 1. So this you have studied in mathematics. So in order to bring it to this one, I can further simplify this one as 1 by 2j summation n varies from 0 to infinity e power j omega z to the power of minus 1 whole to the power of n minus 1 by 2j summation n varies from 0 to infinity e power minus j omega z to the power of minus 1 whole to the power of n. So now I have brought it in terms of a power of n. So this is the same expression. So in order to express in terms of this formula, I have expressed like this. That's it. Okay. So now, let us further solve this one using this formula. So how can we write this one? So 1 by 2j, we have to keep outside as it is. So 1 by 2j will be as it is. So summation n varies from 0 to infinity a power of n is nothing but 1 by 1 minus a. Provided what is the condition? Mod a is less than 1. So your mod a is e power j omega z to the power of minus 1 is lesser than 1 minus 1 by, so summation n varies from 0 to infinity a power of n, 1 by 1 minus a, provided mod a lesser than 1. So why I have written this condition is this will help us to get our ROC. So using this condition we can directly get the ROC. So this we will keep it aside and we will solve this further so that we can get our Z transform, and then we will locate the poles and then we will plot the ROC. Actually I have plotted here ROC for you before so that we will not waste time. Okay, so how can I simplify this one? So if you observe this one, I can multiply the numerator and denominator by z because z to the power of minus 1 is there. So this one I can further write it as, so multiply numerator and denominator by z. So you can express as z by z minus e power j omega. Right side minus z by z minus e power minus j omega. So now it is your duty, to further simplify the things. Okay. So bring z outside. So what you do is z by 2j. So take the LCM here, z minus e power j omega into z minus e power minus j omega. In the numerator, it will be z minus e power j omega minus z minus e power plus j omega. So this is just simplifying the things. Then what you do is you apply x minus a into x minus b formula to the denominator and further simplify this one. Okay, so I'll give you the direct answer after simplifying. So after simplifying, so that is left for you to do. Okay, you should get the answer as z into sine omega divided by z square minus 2 cos omega into z plus 1. Okay, so this should be your answer. Okay, simplify that one. It's mathematics, it's easy. So use that x minus a into x minus b and express in terms of cos, you'll get the answer. So only 2 steps are there. Okay, so now in order to get the poles, what you have to do? You have to equate them denominator to 0. So if you can observe this one, it is in the form of ax squared minus bx plus c. So here your poles exist. you'll get some answer. Poles will be imaginary. You can write it directly as poles will be imaginary. No need to solve further. Okay. Then coming to the ROC. So how I told you we'll get the ROC, you have to go back and we have to use this two condition to get the ROC. So what is the two condition? Mod e power j omega z to the power of minus 1 is less than 1 and mod e power minus j omega z to the power of minus 1 is less than 1. So using these two conditions, we'll get our ROC. So let me solve this ROC for you. So what are the two conditions? Mod e power j omega z to the power of minus 1 should be less than 1 and mod e power minus j omega z to the power of minus 1 should be less than 1. So this we can get as mod z is greater than mod of e power j omega. So this is like e power j omega is nothing but cos omega plus j sin omega. So this, if you take the magnitude of this, it is 1, right? Because root of a squared plus b squared. So root of 1 plus 1 is 1. So mod z is greater than 1. Similarly, if you do for this one, you will get mod z is greater than e power minus j omega. So what's the magnitude of this one? Instead of plus, it will be minus here, and again it will be 1. So mod z is greater than 1. So your ROC is mod z is greater than 1. So if you want to plot the ROC, it will look like this. So you first what you have to do, you have to plot the pole at z is equal to 1 and it has a unit circle there. Mod z is greater than 1. So this will be your ROC. So what I have done, we will see once again. So given x of n is equal to sine omega n, first write the formula, express in terms of e power j omega, then express in terms of summation n is equal to 0 to infinity a power of n, and then simplify to get the z transform. Then we'll get the ROC also using those two conditions when we solve the previous one, like summation n is from 0 to infinity a power of n. Then we'll get poles by equating the denominator to 0. So using same procedure what we have done for the previous problems, the same thing I'm repeating here. There's nothing new here. Okay. So having said that, instead of sine omega n u of n, I have given this homework problem as cos omega n into u of n. So this should be our answer. Okay. This should be our Z transform and ROC should be same. Okay. So try this one. Okay. Because it's the same procedure. Okay. There is no changes in it. There is no point in again, solving the same thing once again. So my main aim is to, solve different kinds of problems. So people will get used to it. Okay. So now let us go to another problem. So now x of n is equal to a to the power of mod n. So x of n is equal to a power mod n. So the first thing, if you don't understand, the sum is write the mathematical expression for it. So what is the mathematical expression? X of n is equal to a power minus n for n less than 0 and is equal to a power plus n for n greater than or equal to 0. So see the term. What is the meaning of this one? I have written in terms of mathematical. Then what we have to do? We have to write the formula, solve it. So Z transform of x of n is equal to summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity x of n z power minus n. So this is the formula. So now what is your x of n? A power minus n for n less than 0 and a power plus n for n greater than 0. So let us substitute that one. So summation n varies from minus infinity to 0 because n is less than 0. What is the value? A power minus n into z to the power of minus n plus summation n varies from 0 to infinity a power of n z to the power of minus n. Okay. So now since you have negative, so minus term here, what we have to do? We have to replace n by minus n in the first term. So we will replace n by minus n in the first term. So what we will get here, if you replace n by minus n, so your limit changes. So it will become n varies from 0 to infinity, and this one you can express at az whole to the power of n, because I have replaced n by minus n. So plus summation n varies from 0 to infinity. So this, how can I write? A into z to the power of minus 1 whole to the power of n. Okay, so this remains as it is, only we are replacing n by minus n in the first term. So now it is in the form of summation n varies from 0 to infinity a power of n, which is equal to 1 by 1 minus a, provided mod a is less than 1. So this is the first term. Similarly, we can express this second term. So let us, further simplify this one. Okay. So summation n varies from 0 to infinity a power of n is nothing but 1 by 1 minus a. So 1 by 1 minus az, provided mod az is lesser than 1, plus 1 by 1 minus a to the power az to the power of minus 1 if mod az to the power of minus 1 is lesser than 1. So further, how can we simplify? So this I'll write it as 1 minus az. So for this term, I will multiply and divide by z. So I'll get z by z minus a. So you take them common LCM here. So which is 1 minus az into z minus a. So this one will be z minus a plus z. So this is your z transform. So now, in order to get the poles, what we have to do? We have to equate them denominator to 0. So 1 minus az is equal to 0 is one pole, and z minus a is equal to 0 is our another pole. So 1 is equal to az, or z is equal to 1 by a is our first pole. Second pole at z is equal to a. So we have got the two poles. Okay, then what we have to get? We have to get the region of convergence. So how do we get the region of convergence? Using these two condition. So using these two condition, let us get the region of convergence. So in order to get the region of convergence, the first condition is mod az is lesser than 1, and the second condition is mod a into z inverse is lesser than 1. So what you will get? Mod z is lesser than 1 by mod a, and mod z is greater than a. So in general, how can I write this? Mod z is greater than a and it is less than 1 by a. So how does your ROC look like? So you have to plot your ROC, right? So let me plot that for you. So this is your z plane, real axis, imaginary axis. So you have poles at z is equal to a and z is equal to 1 by a. Then what I need to draw? I need to draw a unit circle at z is equal to a and z is equal to 1 by a. Then what I have to do? I have to mark my region of convergence. So what is the region of convergence here? Mod z is greater than a and less than 1 by a. So mod z is greater than a, less than 1 by a. As you can see, it should lie here, your ROC. So this is your region of convergence. So once again, we will see how did we approach this problem. Given the problem, x of n is equal to a to the power of mod n, write the mathematical expression, write the expression for z transform, and then substitute the formula, get the poles equating the denominator to 0, and then get the ROC with the condition with the help of that formula there, and then plot the ROC. So same steps. Okay, so again, based on the same approach, you solve this problem. So this should be your answer, and poles again it is same. Okay, ROC and poles. Okay, so now I have covered some problems covering all the property with respect to your region of convergence. So now let me go to the properties of Z transform. So derivations here we will see today, and in the next class we will solve some problems with respect to that. Okay, so same like Fourier transform, you have here properties of Z transform, so no need to worry about that. So you have seen the property of linearity, time convolution, time reversal, time shift, etc. So the same thing, whatever we have done for Fourier transform, we will see for Z transform also. So this subject is like quite like system, it's going in a systematic way. If you observe, first module and second module, it's about time domain signal, and third and fourth, it's about frequency domain signal. And the flow of the flow of the third and fourth chapter, it's same. So if you compare this properties, we have studied properties in Fourier. We have solved some problems on Z transform here also. There also Fourier transform we have solved. Then inverse Z transform we have solved. Here also we'll solve inverse Z transform. Then we will see the properties like causality, stability. There also we have seen. So it's like you can match a map from one chapter to another. So it's like it's the best subject if you see in terms of flow. Okay, so now let us see the properties of ROC. Okay, the first one what we will study, the easy one, linearity. So what does it say? According to linearity property, if x1 of n Z transform is x1 of z and x2 of n Z transform is x2 of z with ROC R1 and ROC R2, then a1 x1 of n plus b2 x2 of n Z transform is a1 x1 of z plus b2 into x2 of z. Just we are taking Z transform of these two terms. Okay, with ROC R1 intersection R2. So we have to prove this. So let us prove this one. Okay, so how can I prove this one? So in order to prove this one, let me start with this Z transform of x of n formula. So Z transform of x of n is nothing but summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity x of n z to the power of minus n. So now your x of n be equal to a1 x1 of n plus b2 x2 of n. So I'll write it here. Let x of n is equal to a1 x1 of n plus b2 x2 of n. So I'll substitute in this formula. Summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity. What is your x of n? So these terms, a1 x1 of n plus b2 x2 of n whole multiplied by z to the power of minus n. So now how can I simplify this one? Summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity. So a1 x1 of n z to the power of minus n plus summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity b2 x2 of n z to the power of minus n. So in the next line, what I will going to do is I'll take this a1 outside. So I'll write it here. So b2 I will take it outside. I'll write it here. So what happens? So this term summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity. X1 of n z to the power of minus 1 is z transform of x1 of n, right? Because it is in the same formula as this one. Plus b2 into summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity x2 of n z to the power of minus n is nothing but z transform of x2 of n. So we have got our formula. So we have got our RHS, which is a1 x1 of z plus b2 x2 of z. So it's simple. You take the z transform formula, substitute x of n as this left hand side term, and get your right hand side term easily, by simplifying the terms here. So that is only this linearity property. Okay, so let me go to the second property, which is time convolution. So if you go back to your Fourier transform also, there also we have solved some problems with respect to this one, and we have derived the properties there. So this is the linearity property which I have written. Please ignore this one. So if you take this time convolution, so x1 of n z transform is x1 of z and x2 of n z transform is x2 of z with ROC R1 and ROC R2. Then it is time convolution. So you have to do convolution in time domain. So x1 of n convolution x2 of n. So if you do convolution in your time domain, what happens in your z domain? It will be multiplication in your z domain, same as the Fourier transform. Why it should be same? Because z is equal to e power j omega, it will go back to your Fourier transform. Okay, so the formula of z will map to your j omega axis easily. Okay, so with the unit radius. Okay, so it's almost the same. So convolution in your time domain is nothing but multiplication in your frequency domain. So we have to prove this one. So how can we do that? Again, start with the formula. So we will write proof here. So what we have, z transform of x of n is equal to summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity x of n z to the power of minus n. So now what is your x of n? x1 of n convolution x2 of n. So x1 of n convolution with x2 of n. So this will be summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity. I substituted x1 of n as x1 of n convolution with x2 of n z to the power of minus n. Okay, so now what we have to do? For this term we have to use the convolution formula. What is convolution formula? Convolution of x of k into h of k. So summation k varies from minus infinity to infinity x of k into h of n minus k. So using that formula we have to simplify this one. So let us simplify this one here. Summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity. So this term I'll write as it is. So now you consider them convolution of x1 of n and x2 of n. So this is nothing but summation k varies from minus infinity to infinity x1 of k into x2 of n minus k. So I have used this convolution formula for this term here. And then finally z to the power of minus n I have to multiply. So for this term I have to multiply. So further, how can I solve this one? So see here what I will do. I will bring this k to the left hand side. So summation k varies from minus infinity to infinity. And this n this side. Okay. Summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity. And x1 of k into x2 of n minus k into z to the power of minus n. Okay. So now what you have to do is we have to put n minus k is equal to L. So this implies n is equal to k plus L. So this one we have to substitute in the formula, further simplify the terms and get our answer. So I will substitute this one. So summation k varies from minus infinity to infinity. So now I have to replace n by L. So L is equal to minus infinity to infinity. And what we have got, x1 of k, I'll write it as it is, and x2 of n minus k. So n minus k is equal to L into z to the power of minus n. So n is nothing but k plus L. So it will be minus k minus L. So this I'll further write it as summation k varies from minus infinity to infinity. So x1 of k I'll write it as it is. So z to the power of minus k I'll bring here. So summation L varies from minus infinity to infinity x2 of L into z to the power of minus L. So what I have done, z to the power of minus k I have brought here, and z to the power of minus L I have treated with this one. So I have just simplified the term. Okay. So this one is nothing but z transform of x1 of k, your first term, and your second term is z transform of x2 of L. So how can you write this one? X1 of z into x2 of z. So this is how you prove your time convolution. So convolution in your time domain is nothing but multiplication in your z domain. So first write the formula, substitute the value of x of n as convolution, and write the formula for convolution, simplify that one, put n minus k is equal to l, and get the answer here. So that is the idea. How do you get this prove this time convolution? Okay, having said that, let me go to the third derivation, which is time reversal. As the name indicates, we have to reverse in time. So if you have a signal here, x of n, what is x of minus n? It is ulta. So if you do this one, what happens in your z domain? So as you can see here, x1 of n, z transform is x1 of z. Then x of minus n, what will happen z transform? Z transform of z to the power of minus 1 or z of 1 by z. So it will be x of 1 by z provided your ROC is 1 by r. So your ROC changes here. Okay, if it is r, it will be 1 by r, and it will be 1 by z. So if you flip in this one, it will be 1 by z here. So we have to prove this one. So again, we will use z transform formula and we'll prove. So we have z transform of x of n is equal to summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity x of n z power minus n. Okay, so now what you do is you replace x of n by x of minus n. So replace x of n by x of minus n. So what do you get? Summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity. So I'm replacing x of n by x of minus n z power minus n. Then what you have to do? You have to replace n by minus n. So replace n by minus n. So using these two steps, you'll get your answer directly. Okay. So keep this in mind. So you'll end up as summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity x of n. So this one x to z to the power of plus n, it will become, I'll write it as z to the power of minus 1 whole to the power of minus n. So this is nothing but x of z to the power of minus 1. So you compare with this one. Summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity. X of n, x of n. Here instead of z to the power of minus n, I have z to the power of minus 1 whole to the power of minus n, which is nothing but x of z to the power of minus n minus 1 or x of 1 by z. So this is easy. Okay. So these two steps you follow, you'll get the answer. Okay. So let me go to the next derivation. So this is time shifting. So if you shift in time domain, so if you have a signal here, so if you shift, so this is x of n, if you shift by 2 units to the right, so if this is 0, so if it comes like this, so what happens in z domain? It will be z to the power of minus 2 and z transform of x of n, which is x of z. So this you have to prove this. So how can we prove that? Again, write z transform formula, replace x of n by x of n minus n naught, and simplify that one to get the answer. So let us solve that step by step. So first what we have z transform formula as z transform of x of n is equal to summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity x of n z to the power of minus n. So now what we have to do? We have to replace x of n by x of n minus n naught. So let us do that. So summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity x of n minus n naught z to the power of minus n. So I have to replace x of n. I have replaced it with x of n minus n naught. Okay. Then you observe here what I will do. You have to put n minus n naught is equal to L. This implies n is equal to L plus n naught. So let us substitute that. So your n varies from minus infinity to infinity. So what happens here? L varies also from minus infinity to infinity. And then x of n minus n naught you are replacing by L, and n will be L plus n naught. So I have written that one. So let's further simplify this one. So you can write this one as summation L varies from minus infinity to infinity x of L z to the power of minus L into z to the power of minus n naught. So now I will bring z to the power of minus n naught outside. So what will be inside? Summation L varies from minus infinity to infinity x of L into z power minus n. So this one z to the power of minus n naught. So this term is nothing but summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity x of n z to the power of minus n. So instead of n, it is L. That's the difference. So this is nothing but z transform of x of L. So this is nothing but z transform formula. So this you can write it as z transform of minus n naught into x of z. So it is easy. So what you have to do? You have to replace x of n by x of n minus n naught and substitute it in the formula and put this n minus n naught is equal to L and arrive at this derivation. Okay. So yeah. So we have two derivations left again. So let me, finish it off. Okay. So multiplication by an exponential in the time domain. As the name indicates, you have to multiply with an exponential in the time domain. So a power of n, x of n. Then what will be your z transform? X of z by a. So this property we have to prove. So let us go step by step. So z transform of x of n is equal to summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity x of n z to the power of minus n. So now what is your x of n? X of n is a power of n into x of n. So replace x of n by a power of n into x of n. So let us replace that one. So summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity. What is your x of n? A power of n into x of n z power minus n. So now how can I simplify this one? Summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity. So now please observe x of n, I'll write it left side. So your a z to the power of minus 1 whole to the power of n. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I have made some mistake. So this one I can write it as a to the power of minus 1 z whole to the power of minus n. Why? Z to the power of minus n is z to the power of minus 1. A power of minus 1 into minus n. So it will be a power minus 1 into minus n. It will be a power plus n. So it's correct. So sorry for that one. So now what is this? If you see this, properly, so you compare this and these terms. Okay. Summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity. Here also you have summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity. X of n, you have here x of n. Here you see z to the power of minus n. Here instead of z, it is a power minus 1 into z whole to the power of minus n. So if this one is x of z, so this will be x of a to the power of minus 1 into z, which is equal to x of z by a. Okay. So it's just, you have to simplify the way you simplify and arrive at the expression. So yeah, it's easy. So what happens here? You have to prove if multiplication by an exponential in time domain, you have to prove it as x of z by a. So first what you have to do, you have to write the formula. Z transform of x of n is equal to summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity x of n z to the power of minus n. Then what you have to do, replace x of n by a power of n x of n. So this term you have to replace it and simplify and write it like this. So and compare with this. So these two you compare and you'll arrive it as x of z by a. So it's quite easy. So what I request you to is, you should solve this one and write this one once so that you'll get a grip on the subject. So when compared to other subject, I think this is the best subject. Okay. So let's, wrap up with this last derivation for today. So frequency differentiation. So you have x of n, z transform is x of z. with ROC R, then what happens when you differentiate in your Z domain? Then you should multiply by n into x of n. So you understand in terms of that. Simply if you learn like n into x of n, so then what happens if you so you can use this logic also. If x of n is there, if you multiply by n, then in domain it differentiate with respect to z, so multiply by minus z. So you can go with that logic also. Otherwise you can go with, if you differentiate in z domain, then you have to multiply by n in time domain. So you can use this logic. So these things will be helpful in control systems to solve problems. Okay, so these properties are very much necessary for you to remember. And this poles, ROC, it is helpful while designing the control system, understanding the stability of the system. Okay, so please have a please write it down once always. Okay, so let's derive this one. So we have Z transform of x of n is equal to summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity x of n z to the power of minus n. So this is your x of z. So let us keep this as equation number 1. Why I have written this equation number 1, I will say. So now what we want here, n into x of n. So let us replace x of n by n into x of n. So let us replace and we will see what we will get. So z transform of n into x of n is equal to summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity. So your x of n is nothing but n into x of n z to the power of minus n. So this is equation number 2. So let us keep this equation aside for now. Okay, why I will say, because we will use this in the middle of the derivation. So please keep this aside. Okay, so let us concentrate on our right side. So what we have, n into x of n, z transform is minus z d by dz of x of z. So what we want to get, differentiation of x of z. So we know that your left hand side term is x of z. So if I differentiate your first equation, I will arrive with d by dz of x of z. So with that we will solve. So what I will do is, I will differentiate 1 with respect to z. So what we will get here, so left hand side I will get it as d by dz of z transform of x of n, okay, is equal to summation, okay, n varies from minus infinity to infinity x of n. So I have to differentiate here. So let me write it for you again. D by dz of z to the power of minus n. So differentiation of x to the power of n x to the power of n minus 1. Using that, we can solve this one. So we'll solve this step by step. So right hand side, summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity x of n. So differentiation of z to the power of minus n into x to the power of n minus 1. So minus n minus 1. Okay. So further, how can we simplify this one? Summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity. So see what I'm writing here. X of n. So minus n z to the power of minus n into z to the power of minus 1. So I will bring this z to the power of minus 1 and minus outside. So minus z to the power of minus 1 I will bring outside. So what we will have, summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity x of n into n z to the power of minus n, because minus have brought here outside. So now if you observe this one, summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity x of n into n z to the power of minus n. So this looks similar to your second equation. So what is the answer for that? Z transform of n into x to the power of n. So you'll get minus z to the power of minus 1. Let it, we'll write it as it is. So it is nothing but z transform of n into x to the power of n. So your left hand is d by dz of x of z. So I'll bring this z to the power of minus 1 to the other side. So it will be, so with this minus term, minus z d by dz of x of z is nothing but z transform of n into x to x of n. So we have proved LHS is equal to RHS. Okay. So whatever I have done, make sure you write it once and practice it. So it's easy to see and understand. But when you write it, you'll get to know the things. Okay. I think we have done like problems with respect to Z transform today, and we have derived some properties with respect to Z transform. In tomorrow's class, we will solve problems with respect to Z transform, and if time permits, we'll solve inverse Z transform also. So thank you guys. Bye.